Hello everyone, welcome to Borisov TV channel. I'm Alexei Borisov, your regular host. Today, as you gathered from the video title, we're combining two cultures. In particular, we will be cooking whole dishes from croissants. You'll find out which ones a bit later. Be sure to watch until the end and do not switch. Before we start, to save your time, I want to set a quick warm-up. I'm setting it on the highest heat. I'm using a pan without any coating. I know how to cook and I'll teach you so that nothing gets burnt. While the pan is heating up, I'll chop the onion with feathers. I take the red one because I like it more and I think it's tastier than the regular white one. By feathers, I mean this style of cutting. Specifically feathers, not half rings. The next ingredient is onion. I have a green ground one. It's just the season, everything has ripened, everything is at its tastiest, everything is local. And I will start by cutting, I will remove the walls, and then I will cut the walls themselves into thin strips, like this. And I never tire of reminding that work in the kitchen should not only be a cool story, it should also be safe. And in order to cut correctly and not lose your fingers, you can follow the link to the video where I explain everything in the most detailed way. And I have one more question. Since we are making a hot dog out of a croissant, that is, we are mixing the cuisine of one country with another, and if everything is clear with croissants, then I have a legal question for you. Which country's cuisine does the hot dog belong to? Please write in the comments and let's discuss there. Once the skillet is heated, I reduce the temperature to about 3 out of 10 and add a small amount of vegetable oil. Simultaneously, I sprinkle both the pepper and onion slices. My goal is to make these vegetables soft and slightly caramelized. Don't forget the freshly ground black pepper, a little salt, and continue stirring. The onion and pepper have become soft and have reached the condition we need. We send it to the bowl and let it wait for its time. In the meantime, we wipe the skillet with a napkin and continue cooking. Next up, we have sausages. We need to prick them because they have an edible casing on top. But to prevent the meat from coming out under pressure, we need to release the pressure with the help of a regular toothpick. With such easy movements, we make pricks all over the surface of the sausages on one side and do the same on the other side. Also, a little bit of vegetable oil. And we fry the sausages. They are very thin. They should fry quickly. At the very beginning, we need to bring it to a boil. Meanwhile, let's prepare the croissants. I will cut them in such a way to give the impression that it's a bun for a hot dog. The wider side, that is, the flatter one, will remain untouched by me. We transfer it to the plate in this format. By the way, use the sausages that you like to transfer to the plate. By the way, use the sausages that you like. I use buns, but I have nothing against Nuremberg milk, Viennese, any in a word. In the thought-out croissant, we add vegetables, red onion, and ground pepper, who forgot more than what we do for ourselves. Next, the sausage. I think I have one to fit, but if desired, you can throw a couple. Although, a couple will also go. It turns out to be great. Ketchup and mustard. Here at Will All This Business. Who likes what? If desired, use mayonnaise. It's also very cool. And I think a good hot dog can't do without it, so it's fried onions. I buy it at a regular supermarket. I think it's impossible to make it at home. It's not expensive, and the taste is simply amazing. Such a beautiful story we ended up with. The mix of two cultures that we started with, but nothing remains. I should try this wonder sooner. You're just crunching. How it crunches. This means that it's deceiving me. The first thing I want to say is that it seems like a croissant, which is considered to be not at all dietetic, but if compared to a classic hot dog bun. With a croissant, it's light as a cloud, but everything else I think is classic. Both the taste and the composition of this whole theme. This is exactly what you want. You can construct here, experiment as you like. Well, I'm going to finish my croissant. I was eating this delicious hot dog mixed with a croissant. And now another dish of our episode. This is a croissant mixed with a burger. Answer, to the cuisine of which country do burgers belong? What? Answer, to the cuisine of which country do burgers belong? What will we end up mixing? I'm very interested. I'll read and respond to the most interesting comments. At the very beginning, I also set the skillet to heat up to the maximum. Next, I have here 450 grams of minced turkey fillet. What do I need to do? I will be making patties weighing 50 grams each, so they are small. Accordingly, I need to divide 450 grams of mince into 9 parts. I do this visually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Approximately each piece weighs about 50 grams. Now I need to form the mixture into patties. In this way, we simply make ordinary balls out of the minced meat. You can beat a little air out of them, a little oxygen, to make them denser. We do everything else by the same analogy. I've turned the heat down to 3 out of 10, just like in the first literal minute, and I'm starting to fry the patties. And how I'm going to fry them, it's a very interesting process. Please watch as I fry them, it's a very interesting process. Please watch carefully. I'm placing a bowl of stuffing. I cover it with a parchment sheet on top and flatten it with a spatula, making the patty flat. I lift the parchment and fry the patty for literally a minute. Don't forget to pepper and salt it. You can flip it over and the same thing applies. Salt, pepper, and a small piece of cheese. Let's go over the fire. And the patty will be ready in 30 seconds. We put it on a plate and do the same with all the rondelles from the minced meat. We cut the croissant completely, never to the end for the first time. And we also send it to the oven. I have a red onion and a knife in my hands once again. This time I'm making super thin half rings, literally half a millimeter. Be attentive, they should be this way, to slightly impart their sharpness and sweetness. The remaining onion rings need to be separated so they are light, and that's it, we set them aside. Next, I take the baby corn and also cut a couple of cucumbers into tiny rings. Now we treat the croissants the same way we did with the burger bun. That is, we have a flatter side and a bulging side. I think it's clear what will go down and what will act as the cap of the same hat. Pour a little ketchup and a little mustard on the bottom. I think I need at least 4 patties for one similar burger, so it's juicy, so it's tasty. This is what I understand, a burger is a burger. Then a little bit of onion. I think that will be enough. And cucumber rings. And the final ingredient of this dish is a little bit of mayonnaise. And we'll match the cap so it's also juicy and attractive. Don't be afraid of mayonnaise. It's just the maximum amount of vegetable oil. Ready? Let's cut it into halves and take a look. Let's cut it in half and see what we have. Crunchy. A bun and the maximum amount of meat. You probably noticed that no juice came out of the meat. Someone might say, no, it's overcooked. It's all because we use diet turkey meat. That's why it's dry, because there's no fatty juice. But if you use beef, marbled beef, then believe me, everything will be juicy. And I'm tasting it. The meat specifically gives off a strong flavor. The thing is that we used a burner. By the way, I use it very often and it always gives a kick to my dishes. Get it armed, it's just a couple of 100 rubles in a hardware store and the result is just awesome. The cheese feels light with a hint of onion and cucumber and the crunchiness from the roll, in this case a croissant. Friends, I say again, don't fear experimenting or your desires. Everything will work out. On this delicious note, I bid you farewell. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, share it with friends and stay healthy.